Hello, I'm Nicole Johnson. Welcome to Diabetes Partners, a Type We program. During the next session, you are going to watch 3 couples as they journey along a discovery of diabetes education. The women all have type 1 diabetes and the men are their partners. And we're going to follow them as they receive specific information and education about diabetes. Our research has shown that most partners never receive specific diabetes education, so we're going to cover Diabetes 101 in this session. It's the basics, the real deal, the things everybody needs to know. And then we broach the topic of diabetes emergencies, getting down to the life-saving techniques that are critical for your partner to be informed about. All right, well, I'm so glad you guys are here. We are talking about partners in the landscape of life with diabetes. So I'm glad that we have our people with diabetes in the room, but also our partners. My name's Nicole Johnson, and I'm gonna be one of your leaders today. I've had type 1 for a very long time, and so we'll be maybe weaving in some little stories and tips that I've learned along the way. You're gonna meet some other type 1s as people that are going to lead this session that we're in, this journey that we're going to be on. But then we also have Stephanie.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Melton and I'm a researcher with Bringing Science Home, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
And Stephanie has played the partner role before in diabetes for loved ones in your family.
Yes, I have.
And so she's going to bring some of that perspective as well as we guide some of the conversation. But most of all, we're going to have fun. Okay? So diabetes is serious, but learning about it doesn't have to be boring. So we're going to engage. So we're going to start by just talking about some of the basics. Diabetes is tough. It is a crazy balancing act of all kinds of different dynamics in life because it affects every element of your day. Not a moment goes by that's not impacted by diabetes. In fact, the job of diabetes is intense. So the person that you love who has type 1, they are told by their healthcare team and advisors to eat more fruits and vegetables, to limit the sweets and saturated fats that they eat, to eat 3 meals a day. It's so overwhelming, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Be physically active, check your blood sugar, and do that multiple times a day. Take your medicine, have an eye exam, check your feet. Quit smoking, don't start. Are you tired yet? Yeah, I mean, it's overwhelming, right? And that's how the person with diabetes oftentimes feels. But even if we do everything on that list, sometimes this happens, right? Even if we're following all of the guidance that we've been given, we can still receive frustrating results. And it makes you feel like, what did I do wrong now, right? I can't get it right. But in the midst of those frustrating results, this is a little bit of reality that comes in. The people with diabetes, these are the percentage of people who are achieving the targets that are set out for us. And it's not many. For partners, it's important for you to know that those targets are so tough to reach. And if your loved one is not reaching them, to not get caught in a blame kind of scenario, because it's more complicated than you might realize. In fact, partners are put in what is often framed as an impossible situation, right? On one hand, you could be considered harping on the person that you love to check their blood sugar more often, or to eat better, or to exercise more, or to do this, or to do that, or to comply with this. And on the other side, if you don't do that, you could be considered to be not really caring or abandoning the situation. So the partners have this very delicate dilemma of figuring out how to be the best that they can be for the one that they love, while at the same time they're scared to death. Because diabetes is scary, and there are some tough elements. So what we've learned is that partners are worried sick about what will happen to their loved one's health, about what the future will look like. Are they being too overprotective? Are they not doing enough? What's diabetes going to look like in the future of the relationship? And how is it going to impact the goals that they have as a couple and the goals that they have individually? You know, unfortunately, partners often get stuck in that fearful spot. and no one really intervenes much to help alleviate some of those fears and to help give them the tools necessary to move forward in a positive way. And that's why we're here today. So let's just be clear about what diabetes is and what diabetes isn't. So type 1 diabetes, it's an autoimmune disease. What that means is like you didn't do anything to get type 1 diabetes. Something happened within your body, there was an attack on your immune system, and your body doesn't produce the insulin that you need to survive. So people with type 1, they have to take insulin through an insulin pump or through injections, or even now some people are inhaling insulin to survive because their body doesn't make what they need. Type 2 diabetes is different, and this is a huge frustration for people, especially those with diabetes, because they feel misunderstood so often. So people with type 2, their bodies make insulin. It's just something happens. Sometimes it's genetics, sometimes it's lifestyle choices that impact the way our bodies operate, but something happens where their body can't use the sugar and the insulin in their body properly. And so they then have to take medication as well. So first things first, as a partner, whatever you can do to help protect your loved one who has diabetes by making sure that you understand the terminology, it's super important. So there are medications that are used, you know this, but we're gonna just throw it out there just in case. Insulin, there are multiple kinds and forms of insulin that help the person with type 1 diabetes, as well as some type 2s over time. And then there are oral medications. The oral medications are primarily used in type 2 diabetes. They help sensitize the body to use the insulin that it's naturally making. But sometimes we see crossover where people with type 1 can use some of the oral medications as well. There are also all kinds of other medications that are used in diabetes. I encourage you to ask your healthcare provider or the healthcare provider of the person that you love about these different types of options and how they might be able to help you. There's a lot of different details that you'll want to know. Some of them are injectable medications. Some of them are in the pill form. But again, that's a case-by-case scenario. And so it's in your best interest to have a conversation and to develop a relationship with the health professionals who are caring for the person that you love with diabetes. So now we have a quiz. Let's see if the partners in the room can tell me what these symptoms are for. Okay, so this is a really rudimentary cartoon, but it's the best we've got out there, all right? So these are symptoms of something. So you've got extreme thirst, frequent urination, dry, itchy skin, hunger, blurred vision. What do you think? You got it? What is it? High blood sugar, okay. All right, we're gonna place hold that one. These are symptoms of the opposite. Did he get it right? Shaky, sweating, anxious, dizzy, frustrated. What's that one for? Low. Have you seen these symptoms before? Absolutely. Yeah, you have? I've experienced all of them. All right, what about the people with diabetes in the room? Yeah. Now, there's something tricky though, isn't there? And you know this, you're living with diabetes in your daily life. What do you guys do for low blood sugars?
Peanut butter is definitely a must.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Peanut butter, okay. What anybody else?
I know she was saying that depends on how low or how, if it's just a little bit, maybe apple juice. I know a lot of times we'll go with like a sandwich, PB&J or something. Or
Ah,
a full meal,
a full
basically.
meal.
The whole thing.
It's that whole hunger
Orange
cartoon.
juice.
What about you guys?
Fruit juice.
Fruit juice?
It's always my go-to. And if I'm really low, I drink more fruit juice.
And what do you carry in your bags or in your pockets?
I normally have a fruit juice on me.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all over the house.
They're all over.
Yeah.
So when a person with diabetes has a low blood sugar, they need a treatment with carbohydrates in it right away to raise their blood sugar up to a normal level. There are many different ways to treat low blood sugars, from drinking juice to eating some kind of carbohydrate. There are even many manufacturers that make specific products targeted to help people with diabetes manage low blood sugar reactions. There are gels, there are drinks, there are bars, there are tablets that look like sweet tarts.
So what we decided to do was to have all of our diabetes partners test and try these different low blood sugar products and to see what they think. But here's the bottom line. Anything can be used as a treatment. When your person that you love has a low blood sugar, you just need to get them some carbohydrates and quick. The point is treating the low and helping that individual that you care so deeply about feel better and normal again.
One time when I was really low, had someone there with me, and I sent him to go get me something because we were at a parade, so there was not a lot of options, and I'd used all of my emergency supply in my purse. And I remember sitting down in the middle of the street, just waiting, because I was pretty low. And he comes back with a hero sandwich. And I said, "What are you thinking? Why did you do that?" And he innocently is like, "Oh, it's a sandwich. It's got bread. It's got protein. Like, this is going to work great." And I'm like, "No, I needed a Coke or a juice." And I start breaking down. And it sounds ridiculous, but we have all been there, haven't we? And you know what, if your partner who has diabetes likes some of these special treatments that are designed for diabetes, great. If they don't, no problem, because there's no rule, right?
Right. It's just talking and figuring out what your loved one likes. And also think about what you can have around. You know, you've figured out a way to have juice throughout the house, which is great. Have any of the partners ever thought about carrying something in the car or in your pockets or just to have a backup? Have you ever done something like that?
I know we have glucose tabs in my car, and every once in a while I'll have like saltine crackers or something like that. But then I have to go through them because sometimes they don't get used and then they're expired. I don't want like.
Something close by is always better than nothing. So that's why we did show you these kinds of things that you can get in your pharmacy. And you can, if you're going out to Rib Fest or something like that, you can easily, as a partner, have it in your pocket or your suit jacket or whatever it might be to just be that extra layer of safety. So we talked about lows. We need to talk about the highs, right? So treatments for highs, and you might want to add to this list. Insulin, of course, you're high, you need to give insulin. And if some of your symptoms of a high are being irritable or confused or anything like that, then you may need to develop a plan together about what you're going to do and to make sure that you gave insulin. But then also drinking water so you don't become dehydrated and more sick. And then if you're able, if you're not too high, maybe some movement, going for a walk. Everybody has different opinions about that type of thing, but I know that's what works for me, is to go for a walk, and for sure my blood sugar is going to start coming down a little bit faster than if I didn't go for a walk.
I'm the same. I normally give myself insulin, drink some water, and go for a walk. It works for me.
And sometimes it's easier if you get to go for a walk with somebody. Yeah. You know? Hint, hint. Okay, so why are lows and highs important? It's because of the totality of the disease, and we want to protect our bodies from the complications that can go along with this disease. And I'm not going to put a downer on it, but diabetes affects everything, every system in your body. And so that's why we want to work so hard to manage the blood sugars and to have a healthy relationship while we're managing the blood sugars. But here's the promising thing. People with diabetes are living longer and longer. There are individuals who now have lived with diabetes for 50, 75 years, and even longer. And so there is a lot of hope and opportunity out there. It's not as negative as this might sound. So, but in the midst of life with diabetes, we do have emergencies where maybe our gels and juices are not going to care for the whole scenario of what's going on. And so we want to talk about those emergencies when you have a severe low and you need help. And juice is not going to cut it, and maybe your loved one is having a seizure or they may be unconscious and they're not able to help each other. So who has ever used glucagon before? Nobody has, so this is important. That's why we're doing this. And so we have a health professional that's going to come and help us. Her name is Michelle Lane. Michelle, please come join us.
Hey guys.
Michelle's had type 1 diabetes for a long time and is going to help train you with these practice kits on what is glucagon, when do we use it, and what do you do once you open the box, okay? And then I have practice kits for everybody here. But Michelle.
And you get to actually use them on your partner. Yes. So glucagon, when you get the practice, or when you get a kit from the pharmacy, it usually comes as a red box. You want to keep it in your refrigerator. You can carry it around, take it out, put it in your purse, carry it with you. It's a very rapid acting sugar that when you inject it, in about 5 minutes, your blood sugars will be up. So this is really helpful when your partner is not able to drink, or you can't get them to eat, they're combative. The glucagon's great. And you can use, if you're able to get them to drink a little bit, but it's not coming up fast, you can always use half a dose of it as well. So we're going to show you how to use it. It's a powder and a liquid. This is a practice kit, so it doesn't have the powder in the vial. There's liquid in the syringe. The instructions are always on the lid of the kits when you get them from the pharmacy, so it's not like you have to remember everything that we go through today. It's written down and there's pictures, so when it happens. And when it happens, you guys are scared and you're in a panic and you don't know what, because you can't get them to respond. It happened to my husband recently. He couldn't find my glucagon. So that's a tip. Make sure you tell everybody where your glucagon is. He ended up pouring sugar down my face. So with the glucagon, it looks like a very nasty needle. And if you've never given anybody a shot before, and especially it's your loved one, you're going to be like, this is going to hurt them. I can't do this. I can't stick her with a needle. It's okay. You can. And they don't remember and they don't feel it. So don't worry about that. They're not going to hate you after. The needle does have to go into the muscle. That's a big thing. So it does look long. It's okay. So there is a vial of powder, the liquid in the needle. You're going to open the vial. You're going to stick the needle in the top of the vial and just put all the liquid in. Just inject it all in. Take it out, swirl it around, stick the needle back in, and just pull, if you're going to give a full dose, everything back into the needle.
So it's a multiple step process.
It is.
And when you're panicked and scared and your loved one is flopping around, having a seizure,
Right.
It's important to have practiced and to know these steps.
So we're going to practice with you guys doing this today. After you get the liquid in, you stick it anywhere. It doesn't matter. If they're combative, wherever you can stick the needle, you can stick it through the clothes. Don't be worried about, oh, I have to take her shirt off. I have to just stick it. It's more important you just get it in.
Arm, leg, butt,
stomach.
It doesn't matter as long as it gets in the body. And you're going to be scared to give this big needle to your loved one.
But it's okay. They won't remember.
Yeah.
It's shocking how many people, how many families, how many partners have never practiced, never used, never even opened a glucagon kit. In the heat of the moment, when the person that you love with type 1 diabetes is experiencing an extreme low blood sugar, glucagon is necessary. And what that requires is that the person who lives with them has the information and the skills necessary to deliver that life-saving medication quickly. All of our partners practiced with demo glucagon kits. These are meant for educational settings. They include a syringe, powder, and a solution that they had to mix and pretend to deliver. We hope our partners will never have to use glucagon in their lives, but if they do, they've now practiced.
So it's really important to prepare for these emergencies that we hope will never happen. And get your glucagon kits. When they expire, do a test run with each other. Don't inject your loved one with the glucagon unless they need it, okay? But practice mixing it together and swirling, and doing all of the different steps so that it stays fresh in your mind. Because whenever the time comes, we want to make sure that we're prepared.
I will say we have always had glucagon, and I don't know if it's because we've never had to use it or what, but we've been in situations where we leave the home and forget to take it. It doesn't do any good if it's at home in your fridge.
Yeah, that's such an important point. Thank you for that. We'll conclude this session that we've been in with just an overview of the daily life with diabetes. So we've talked about how it's a challenge to do all of the things that you're expected to do to live well, the treatments of the highs and lows, the being prepared for emergencies. For the partner, probably the number one thing that you can do to be a blessing to your loved one with diabetes is to be calm in the situations that are stressful. Because if you're that rock and the calm in the middle of the storm, you're going to help the situation resolve more easily. So we don't want to overstress the situation, and to be patient. And it's such a lot to ask of you from those of us with diabetes, but being patient with us is a gift. It really is such a huge gift. Life with diabetes is hard, no matter how you shake it. If you can find little things to laugh at and little ways to use humor along the way, that also is going to help your loved one cope better and for you to have a better relationship around diabetes.
We've reached the end of this session. I'm so glad that you watched this and gained some information about the dynamic of diabetes partners and life with diabetes. This is just scratching the surface of the education and information to be gained for a family living with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. If you want more information, find a certified diabetes educator near you and ask questions.